Alright, here is the video review for Mastermind Creations reformatted R-48P OPTUS PROMINON. And you may think that just looks like a slightly different colored OPTUS Pexus. You're not entirely wrong until you put any of the previous molds next to it. One, you can see how much more vibrant the colors are. The red's brighter, the blue's brighter. It's got those orange highlights, yellow bits. It really pops, like the gray here around the smokestacks. The paint job's a little different. There's some gray, light gray under here, some orange here on the headlights. But like this version may be my favorite version of the mold. I think it's superior, and part of that is the new bits, because you'll notice the guns are very different, and these guns make a huge difference in that alt mode. You wouldn't think it, but there it is. Like these guns peg on. They're not. They just tab on right here. They're not on there super securely. And they just kind of, he still kind of has like a long, I love this mold. This is in robot mode, it's fantastic and superposable. And I've always kind of dug the alt mode a little bit. But there's no doubt that the new version is superior with the new guns. Now the new guns, nothing on the main, there's a couple bits on the main figure that are remolded. Like these guns are different. We'll get to that later on. These hip pieces are different, which does mean you can't store the matrix handles on this tab on him like you could on this version. But I never really, like, here are the matrix handles from the new one. They could peg on originally, like right here. And that's nice and all, but they're little pieces that could get lost if you got them knocked off. Wasn't really a point in storing them there anyway. But the guns here, but what's cool about them is both these different guns and these different guns use the same connector points. Like the main robot is mostly the same. It's all small details that have changed. So if you want, you could take this gun, these guns off of here. And the way this works is there's these little connector pieces here. These are separate pieces that allow these guns to attach. And they do attach much more securely in that one. You saw me like just pick this one up, even try to touch the guns on here. Like, and even if you grab them up here and squeeze, there it's holding together really well, but it doesn't take a whole lot of force to just pull those or knock those right off. Whereas here, with these connectors, it wibbles a little bit. I wouldn't like fling it around or anything, but it's actually a pretty solid connection. These are the side guns that I just popped off here. And those have some different functions as well. Okay, put it back on. But, like I said, if you want to improve the look of other ones, you can wiggle them off with the connectors, or if then a connector comes off. It's easier to get them off with the guns because they do kind of mold to the piece. You want to make sure that when you put them on, this inner slot goes on the peg, and so the outer slot is where the gun pegs in from the top. But also there is an angled little bit here to mold to this angle on the piece. So you want to make sure you've got them on the right side. If you try to flip them around, they won't go on properly because of this lip. But you can take this weapon pack and stick it on any of the previous molds because those tabs are the same. So if you wanted your original Optimus Pexus to have it, you can. It looks, with the green in here, oh, that one's on upside down. There's some green detailing inside these shoulder cannons. And these look really, really good on the Shattered Geist version. The purple and muted blue Shattered Glass version that they did. The convention exclusive or the main retail one. The green looks a little out of place here on this Prime. But, like I said, I have mentioned they should do just these weapons, release them as an upgrade pack. They apparently do not have any plans to do so, but it would be really cool because I think you could. There may be some recolors of this version of the mold, and if that's the case, maybe this is where we finally get our Fire Guts. We're already getting a little bit of the hint of the orange here. I'd love to see this in a Fire Guts version, especially with these extra guns, but we'll see. I do think this gun pack could be released as a bonus side pack without having to buy a whole new figure because it can be used on all your previous versions. No plans for that currently. Doesn't mean that they won't. Doesn't mean plans can't change. But right now, there's no plans to do that, which is a shame because it really does. I think just adding the guns adds a lot to the mold. But anyway, we'll go ahead and the other thing you can do is you can pop these off the side, these little tabs here, and these can attach where they attach in vehicle mode or in robot mode. You have to flip them up here. Some of the promo shots have them attached up here. You can do that. That does not look quite as dynamic to me. It just kind of adds some chunk to the front. It's kind of cool, like he's coming at you with some guns in the front, but I think they look better attached up here to the things. And you can have them on the same side. It depends on how you want to attach them here, because it's just a little flat rectangular tab. You can have the circle there on the top, or you can flip them over and have the circle on the bottom. It's up to you. I don't think it makes a huge visual difference, like unless you're really looking for it. But the possibility is there. And the benefit of flapping the circle up is you can bring them forward and plug them onto the respective sides without having to swap them. It's, trivial. So yeah, but there it is in the vehicle mode. Again, you'll see these guns are different. We'll show off what's different there in robot mode. These hip panels are different. These little inserts, the clear inserts, have these little fins on them to mimic the Stormbringer alt mode. So there's paint differences. He does still have the matrix piece in here, the little core bit, which you can snap the handles onto. I'm not going to do it in robot mode because it pops out very easily in vehicle mode. And it's, I guess that's cool. It's a little bit of a shame, though, that you don't really see him pop the matrix out in vehicle mode. You see him do it all the time in robot mode, and it would have been nice if they had made that still be easy to function without having to half transform it in robot mode, since that's generally when you see him taking it out of his chest. But you do get a little matrix, but like I said, there's nowhere to store these handles on the side. There may be a place to store it. The instructions don't show it, and I haven't figured it out if there is a new hidden place to store it. Anyway, I'm not going to pull the matrix out in robot mode, but I want to show you he does still come with it. Transformation is the same as always. We'll go ahead and, we'll pop the guns off, but we'll leave, I guess this time they actually came off. You can actually, what's nice about these is, once they're attached, you don't have to pop them off every time. You can leave those attached during transformation. They can stay on in robot mode. They stay on the underside of the forearm, so you don't have to worry about where they're sitting and making the gun look weird, or setting them off to the side in robot mode. That's really nice. The guns, we'll set those off to the side for a minute. We'll talk about that later. These guns pop off for transformation. It's just a whole lot easier to get all this stuff out from around the hands without popping these off. Now, they have tightened the tolerances on the little tab that goes into the arm, so they don't come out of the arm as easily as they did before, this inner tab. But to compensate for that, or maybe for whatever reason, the drawback of that is that they do, when you pop these off, leave the tab in the arm. It's okay. They stay on securely. They snap right back on. But instead of pulling the whole thing out, the tab stays in the arm more securely, but they're not really any more secure than the old ones because the guns themselves just pop off. Doesn't matter. We'll pop that off. Kind of split the legs a little bit. Open them up. And extend it down. Same over here. Once you got one wiggled out, you can get the other one pretty easily. Pop that out. Extend the leg. Come on, there we go. And then bring the foot down. Also, when you're going back to alt mode, you want to make sure this isn't sunken in like it is right there. So if you have an issue getting the legs to collapse, bend the knee and then bring it back out so that's all the way flat like that, because it has to fit in a very specific slot down here. So you want to make sure that's flat against the leg and it'll collapse all the way if you're having trouble. Bring the foot down, and this piece, the piston should come up, and you kind of wiggle it so that little tab goes in between, gets sandwiched between these two panels. Come on. There we go. Like that. And then you can sandwich those together. Then you can bring that all the way up. Nope, don't collapse. Put the foot down. Make sure the foot's all the way flat against the leg. Same over here. It's like kind of a dual hinge. Bring it down and around. Like that. And then angle this. We need to angle them, just make sure that gets sandwiched together when you bring this together, and this whole kind of accordions down like that. And you can go ahead and pop this upper body off like that. Oh, come on, you. Been a long day. This is not helping. Come on, just go in your spot. Don't you want to go in your spot? There you go. So the legs, these panels slide down. I don't know why they slide down for robot mode, but they do. They click into place so you can see that whole piston. These panels, so we kind of lift this up, rotate up and around and down to form the waist. Rotate them around at the waist like that. Go ahead and collapse that piece down like that. Come up here, separate or unpeg the wheels here and pull them out to the sides. Separate the arms. Slide these pieces forward. There we go. And then pull the arms out to the side. And then fold this, or collapse this piece, well, pop this piece up. Get your fingernail underneath it. There we go. Now you have to do this. I didn't realize that it actually made a difference, but it does. You need to leave the head flat like this. Kind of fold this around as much as you can. Get it around there. His headpiece is just a little bit, he's got slightly longer ears than the original did. So you want to fold it all the way down until it's and so it clears, and then fold it up. And when you're going back to vehicle mode, you do in fact, for whatever reason, have to extend this tab. I'm not entirely sure what in there causes the clearance issue, but when you untab this and extend this torso part up, and you'll be able to do it a lot easier. Haven't figured it out, but that's the case. Maybe that little tab keeps it from going down. I don't know. Anyway, once his head's up, you can go ahead and take that. And there is a slot up here. This is going to snap into place. You want to bring it forward so the abs kind of come over that middle piece, and then snap it up into place there. Then this comes up. This piece right here folds up and around like that. Let me bring this camera up a little bit. This folds down, and then you kind of got to unpeg it from here, fold this up so this little round bit gets clear that's in there, and then this little circular peg will peg inside the wheel here and fold this piece back, just like that. Same over here. Oh, untab it, fold it up, clearance, and then peg it onto there, angle that piece up a little bit. We're good to go. Just move his feet until he's standing straight. Bring his shoulders down like this, flip this piece up, kind of collapse it down like that. Rotate the arm, or extend the arm out here at the forearm. Rotate it down, and bring it down. He's got articulated fingers here. And rotate his hand out. There's a new head. And like I said, the only difference, he's got two new heads, but they're basically the same head. This one just has the little dibble down here from the comic on the side of his helmet. But they're the same kind of new head. Looks really great. The colors on this guy just pop. This thing is just fantastic. I love the look of this thing. Rotate the arm, bring it down. Get out of the way here. And attach the forearm guns and slide them forward. They're supposed to be slid back for vehicle mode because otherwise these will bump against this little piece right here. You can slide them forward or you can leave them back. But what's cool about these is the barrels are individually extendable, so you can have them both extended if you want. And I'm pretty sure that's because in the comics he does have in several shots it looks like they are offset. like the one behind is just a little bit longer than the one in the front. I mean, they're both the same length actually, but just one's extended a little bit more. So if you want to get that look on the forearms, you can, which is cool. But he's got all the posability of all the previous versions. And like I said, the bright blue and reds and the grays and the yellow. I mean, everything about him just pops. He just seems super. It's great. All the details are improved. And now you can see all the stuff. The arm guns, these hip pieces, the head, and then these little grill fins here on the little clear inserts that go into the chest. And speaking of the guns here, you can take them and you can split them right here in the middle. Actually, these have got to rotate forward as well. And you can attach them using these pegs here. Let me make sure I'm the right way. You can attach them as just singular armaments over his shoulders, like that. But if you want to replicate the Stormbringer look, he does have these kind of vertical. They're more vertical and they sit a little closer in the comic books, but they're alternating the mode. But you can put these up here. You can angle them over his shoulder. I like to angle them a little bit. I think they look a little bit more dynamic than just sticking straight up there on his back. But hey. And then the rifles, you untab them, extend them out, and then recollapse them and flip down the handle. And he's got ion cannon, ion rifle, which can peg into his hand. It takes a little bit of effort. You got to kind of fold the finger in there, tap it onto the hand, then you can wrap the fingers around it like that. You can have him hold both of them. I'm not going to at the moment, but they both expand out. Only because I want to show off, he's got other weapons. He does come with a matrix sword with an orange blade. And you can hold that in his hand over here. The sword doesn't get held very well. It's got a long slot for a small tab in his hand, and I find that often just the leverage of the sword and the fiddliness of his wrist. He holds it all right, but it's really easy to knock it out of his hand. But there he is with the sword. The sword itself also has a little clip that doesn't really hold it securely on the outside blade, but if you clip it inside here, it's only got so much room to move. And you can take this, you can clip it, and you can see there's actually a actually I got it on upside down. Well, either way, there's a couple little peg holes in there. You can clip it on and peg it onto his back here like this. Now, once you've done that, I want to see if I can get it out of here. Maybe help to make sure it's in the right orientation. Peg that onto his back like this. Oh, come on, clip in. There we go. Line it up with that. There's a notch for this little tab here as well. And then you can kind of attach the sword to his back. And he can, come on, there we go. He can carry that around. Although, okay, actually it attaches much more securely once it's pegged in. So I guess the outward force of having it pegged in around this peg makes it more secure. But yeah, so he can carry a sword on his back, if that's what you want. He also has his giant axe. And you can have him hold it as a long axe. You can pop out this middle section and just put the small handle on and have him hold it as a smaller axe as well. Or if you want to, you can leave this all together. He absolutely has the range and the motion to dual wield this, or two-hand it if you so wish. Let's see if we got him. Trying to do this from behind the camera is a bit of a pain. There we go. Nope. Come on, peg on. Well, you're lined up, peg on. All right. There we go. That one actually pegs on a little bit more securely. Of course, now here's where you run into trouble, because now you got to twist the axe to place forward if you want. So yeah, super armed, super weaponized. Very cool. And again, here's the plain face. Again, just different with the dibble. But yeah, there he is. Let's go ahead and take this piece off as well. Get him down to his base Optimus mode. And bring in the previous version. Again, comparison here with the original Optus Pexus. And again, you can see how those colors on the new version really just pop over the original. The red's brighter, the blues are brighter. They're laid out in a different pattern, like the silver forearms with the blue biceps. This kind of bluish gray paint here on the abs and the knees. Just really nicely done. The new head, you can see he's got more of a squared off faceplate. It's a little more open in the helmet. But yeah, definitely worth picking up. I think between the mold improvements, which are minor. I mean, like the new pieces are, like I said, the hip places just kind of seem to fill in the hips a little better than the tiny ones over here. They're both fantastic figures. If you have the original, don't feel bad. It's a solid figure, and I still love it. But this new version is just fantastic for the extra stuff you get. And speaking of other versions, let's go ahead and bring him up here. Move him over here. We'll put the Nemesis version back here, and then Shattered Glass right here. And like I said, again, these pieces look really great on the Shattered Glass version, the new guns and stuff. So there's all the versions of this mold. Again, there was mention when I was talking about the weapons pack that there may be recolors of this mold specifically, which, again, not drastically different, so I don't know if we're going to eventually get another Shattered Glass version of this minor remold, because it seems like at this point redoing any of these color schemes on this is a little... Do I think it's different enough to warrant multiple recolors into colors we've already gotten? Like I said, we get a Fire Guts out of this, all over it. Could you do a Magnus out of it? Possibly. I'm trying to think of what other colors we might want to get out of this. Obviously, any of these color schemes would look great with the new bits. Like, could you do this figure but in these darker colors? Does that warrant a whole new run of the figure? I don't know. I don't make the business decisions. But I will say, this guy is fantastic. I'm curious to see what they do. Again, if you're listening, do Fire Guts. But anyway, there is R-48P, Optus Prominon. I didn't think... I loved the Optus Pexus mold. The Shattered Geist version, I thought... this guy right here, I thought, that's it. That's the pinnacle. Like they've taken a mold that was already fantastic and improved it to the point of, we've done it. We've perfected this mold. And then they put this one out and nope, still got a little bit of room to go. Anyway, that's R-48P, Optus Prominon. If you don't have any version of this mold yet, absolutely worth getting. If you have any previous version of this mold, I think the upgrade's worth it. I think it's different enough and fun enough. Those new guns are, I think, just make the alt mode so much better, and add a bit to the robot mode as well. But like I said, maybe I can see a little hesitation if you already own a version of the mold. If you don't, this is a no-brainer. Get it. And if you do, I don't think you're gonna. If you do and you like it, there's no reason not to get this one to your shelf. I think they really just nailed it on this one.